democracy. And this revolution is about stopping this creeping.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, political leader of the United National Congress, members of my UNC family. Before I start, may I congratulate our political leader on her resounding victory. Give her a round of applause. I have no doubt that under her leadership and with the support of the NATEX team, the recently elected NATEX team, that the UNC will go from strength to rescue Trinidad and Tobago in 2025, if not before. Tonight, I call on Prime Minister Rowley as head of the National Security Council and the ultimate guarantor of our safety and security to immediately fire the incompetent, non-performing, inept, and clueless Fitzgerald Ethelberg Hines, and the Prime Minister should take over the portfolio immediately. We empathize with the president of the Prison Officers Association, who recently stated that the association has lost all confidence in the National Security Minister, Fitzgerald Hines. So Rowley must fire Hines now and fire himself. I'll come to that. Not a minute longer. He must fire Hines and then fire himself. You cannot take a serious national crisis where crime, murder, and mayhem are the order of the day and put it in the hands of a proven novice. With 18 murders over the weekend, 275 killings to date for the year, 8 murders in one day alone on July the 2nd, 8 murders. And Trinidad and Tobago about to record close to 600 murders for 2022. We are on a dangerous downward spiral. We are becoming a failed state. Rowley's government has pre-collapsed in office. We are reportedly the 6th most murderous country in the entire world. Will you, Rowley, fire Hines when we reach number 1? When our annual murder rate reaches 1,000? When the Beatum riots today become the norm throughout Trinidad and Tobago? When we have more murders per capita than Ukraine, than Afghanistan, or Iraq? You cannot spend 90% of the national security budget on crime suppression and peanuts on the more important areas of crime prevention and crime rehabilitation. You cannot spend $300 million this year on the SSA, a spy agency, and $3 million on cadets. Only $7 million on vision on mission. 7 million, but 300 million on a spy agency. And it couldn't spy and inform you that today we were going to have riots. So it came as a surprise to the acting commissioner of police, a surprise to the Minister of National Security. And today they held a press conference to make an excuse. We are fed up of excuses. This is our great and glorious Trinidad and Tobago. And when you tell them about not spending money on crime prevention and crime rehabilitation, they say that the Ministry of Education and the Ministry of Sport and the new Foster's Ministry of Youth Development and National Service will pick up the slack. But we all know that individually and collectively, all 3 ministries are failing Trinidad and Tobago. They are monumental failures. Oh Lord, Dr. Rowley, you have tried Brigadier Dillon. That was followed by a bigger disaster called Stuart Young. And now you put the clueless Fitzgerald Ethelbert Hines. So I call on you to fire yourself. But as head of the National Security Council, you assume responsibility as Minister of National Security. Do it now. But let me level with you. Dr. Rowley is afraid to assume the portfolio of Minister of National Security. And I will tell you why he is afraid. It is because you, Keith Christopher Rowley, do not have a clue about how to solve crime. You never did, you do not know now, and you never will in future. And you are afraid to admit that you cannot deal with crime. You are no better than Dillon, no better than Young, no better than Hines. You are our crime-fighting failure in chief. You have, after 7 years, Dr. Rowley, we're talking mano a mano, or manos manos, as we say in the dialect. You have, after 7 years, discovered that crime is a public health emergency. So that you, and you know why he do that? So he could put D.L. Singh in for the post. He pushed the talk that it is a public health emergency so that he could put D.L. Singh in the post. So, Dr. Rowley, you are hiding behind incompetent ministers to cover your own shortcomings and ineptitude. Well, do the reasonable thing. Resign. Let Kamla Prasad Bisasa rescue us. Are you going to take our country down a path where we are compared with Haiti? When we were under Kamla Prasad Bisasa, we were among the top 3 economies in the Western Hemisphere. And today we are laughing stock. Have you heard Market Vendor laughing at Trinidad and laughing at the crime? Sorry, I don't want to go there. But oh Lord, Rowley, take shame. Do it. If you don't want to do it for yourself, do it for unborn citizens of generations of citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. Now, I knew this years ago. I knew that he did not have a plan. I knew it. But I was a prophet crying in the wilderness, and no one believed me. I said repeatedly in 2015 to all and sundry, all who would listen, that Keith Christopher Rowley had no plan. Remember? Tonight it is clear that you, Rowley, had no plan then whatsoever to deal with anything including crime. So tonight I feel vindicated. When I said that they operate by VAPs, everyone laughed. When I said they would spin a wheel and come up with a solution, PNMites had a field day. First they came up with a 10-point nonsense plan, and they fooled the population. They won an entire election on a so-called crime plan that could be written by a good SEA student. The 10-point dotishness was the biggest fraud ever perpetrated on an unsuspecting population of Trinidad and Tobago. It was worse than Fatman Jones's Sam Cooke scam. It was worse than Emailgate, worse than the lie that they were selling the refinery to Trinidad, to OWTU, and therefore the workers. And we are paying the price for allowing ourselves to be hoodwinked by a bully and a hoodwinker in chief. We are paying the price. Who went dead, badly wounded? Mothers today holding their bellies and bawling for their murdered sons. Young men being set up by police for allegedly killing police. A man gets asylum in the UK because he's afraid He will be killed in Trinidad and Tobago, and Rowley jet-setting all over the world for extensive periods, reportedly on simple medical procedures. And today, they have come up with an extension of the arguably unconstitutional bill to lock up more young males deemed innocent until proven guilty, to further overburden our inefficient judicial system, all in a failed bid to say that the PNM is doing something on crime. So you see, let us not give up hope, UNC, a family. Let us not give up hope, citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. Victory is near. The leadership of the United National Congress will rescue this country. And we call upon you not to be fooled by Rowley and his wicked bunch of PNMites who do not know, have a clue to deal with the problems of this country. So we all know it. Whether it is the health sector, it has collapsed. The education system has collapsed. There are no jobs for university graduates. There is no future in this country. And young citizens are voting with their feet. They are leaving the country. So let us keep hope. Let us remember that this is our beloved country. And let us put our hands to the plow and rescue this country. And I call upon the leader, Kamala Prasad-Bisasa. Come quick, rescue us. We cannot take it anymore under this failed, vindictive, wicked, cruel, incompetent, inept People's National Movement. Thank you very much.